Okay, so hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Oscar Outdoors. First of all, thanks very much for clicking on my video. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make your own pocket bushcraft grill using some copper piping and some recycled bike spokes. Okay, so first of all what you want to do is measure where you're going to be storing this sort of bushcraft camping grill. Now in my cook set, my pouch is about 8 inches in depth, so I want it to be going in to the depth, so I'm going to go for 6 inches. I don't think you need any more than that. So yeah, 6 inches on the outer tube and just under 6 inches, yeah, so 5.5 inches on the inner tube. Okay, so yeah, measure it up, mark it up, and then cut through it. 2 seconds. So yeah, these bits of copper piping were just lying around from an old project, but it's quite readily available. Normal DIY stores, little handy ones around the corner, you know, B&Q, places like that. So yeah, take your tape measure out, find your 6 inches, somewhere there, make a little mark, he says, get a decent pen, Scott. I think it's just dried out, we've been in the shed too long. Let's use the pencil. Yeah, and make a bit of an indentation, a bit of a mark. You can see just there, so 6 inches there. Just show you that on there. Oh, my dog's going mad. Let's go check on him. I'll be back. I think he could hear me in the shed. Alright, so next up, I've got a little pipe cutter. Now, I'm not a plumber, I just like tools and gadgets. Okay, so find your line. Where did I put it? And there. And then clamp in. That's it, and then I think you just rotate. A little score first of all. I'll turn my camera on. 2 seconds. Yeah, so how to use one of these. Obviously tighten it in, and you can see I've done a couple of score lines on there. So just keep rotating. And then every few rotations, just give it another tighten. And it should eventually go through. So it's a bit of a laborious process, so I'll bring you back when I've done it. Okay, so I've now finished. So I've got my 6 inch piece there, and then a little bit of excess, so I might make a second one. Alright, so now we're going to do exactly the same on the smaller one, just ensuring that it fits inside perfectly. Alright, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I know the numbers are upside down, so I do apologise, it was just the only way I could film it. But yeah, about 5 3/4 is where the blade is. Okay, so just fractionally smaller than the outer tube. So yeah, I'll get to it. Okay, so now I have my 2 bits of copper piping cut to the correct lengths. So the smaller version fits directly inside the bigger version. Okay, I'll bring you back. Okay, so now that you've got your 2 smaller pieces, just check that your small piece does fit in, and then put an end cap over your bigger piece. And then another end cap over the other end. That's 1. And that's 2. So that in essence is all how it's going to look in the end, just with the holes drilled in. on either side. So that's going to fit directly into my cook set. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark up between here, probably every ½ inch or so, a hole to get the bike spokes going across and form a grill. So 2 seconds. Alright, so I've just moved the camera slightly because I nearly knocked it off my table. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that when the caps are on, the holes don't interfere with obviously the tightness of the cap. So you want to make your first hole obviously just sideways of the cap on both ends. Okay, so the smaller hole is in at the present. So all I'm going to do is do one hole, probably there, look, on the inch line from the end of the end cap. Can you see the inch line? Yep, somewhere there. And then every ½ inch from there on. So I'll do that, bring me back. Okay, so I don't know where you can see my pencil markings, but yeah, every ½ inch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this hole and this hole go all the way through. Okay, and the rest are just this surface depth. Okay, so end hole, all the way through. The rest in the centre, just on this surface. Bring you back. Come up with another bit of an idea before I get to drilling. So because this is round, obviously it's going to be quite hard for the drill to grip it. So I'm just going to encompass it all in some bandage, just so it's got something else to bite on. And then obviously get rid of the bandage afterwards. But yeah, so you're just going to wrap it round and just keep wrapping, just so that it's got, I'd say, a bit of friction, a bit of purchase. You know, doesn't have to be the neatest job this, but obviously because it's all going in the bin. Right, snip that off, bring it back. Right, so now that they're both wrapped in the bandage, I'm going to have to remark again. So put my end cap back on, but it won't go on completely, so ba-dum, ba-dum. No, it has. Alright, and then it were an inch from the end, wasn't it? And then every ½ inch thereafter. Okay, so now I've remarked the holes for drilling on there, and I'm just going to marry them up on the smaller one very shortly. But now we'll go to the spokes. So I said on one end, on either end of the larger one, you need to drill all the way through. Now the reason for that is because of the little screw bit on the end of the bike spoke. Can you see that? Yeah, so the little cap will sit on there, so you can drill all the way through and then put the cap on just to hold it in place. So one on either end. The rest of them, they have this little hook on this end. All you do is you just cut them down so that they're long enough to fit inside your tube. Okay, so obviously there to there, and just nip off there. But the two end ones ensure that it's this end that you nip. Okay, and then just flatten out a bit on that end. Right, I'll set my drill up. Okay, so this is a drill gauge. Obviously finding your bike spoke, looking for the correct diameter where you want it to just pass through quite comfortably with not a lot of give. Okay, so that appears to be there. Oh, will it do that one? Yeah. So yeah, it's a 7/64 of an inch on this one. So I'll equate that to probably around about 3 or 4 mil. Just bear with me a second. Alright, so I've just opened up my metal drill bits and realised I've got a couple missing. This is the 3.5mm, so that's the nearest one that I'm going to have anyway. So let's see where that marries up on here. Yeah, so the 9/64, so it's slightly wider than what I wanted, but you'll get the general idea. So yeah, the 9/64, so it has got a little bit of wiggle room there, but you know, and it will go all the way through probably. No, the end cap stops it, so that's probably a decent size actually. So yeah, this is a 3.5mm metal working drill bit, Reisa, however you say it. But yeah, 3.5mm. So I'm going to put this onto my pillar drill and I'll bring you back. Okay, so yeah, this is my pillar drill. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to insert the bit. Just slacken that off for a little minute. Okay, so the drill is unplugged at the moment. Okay, reinsert that. So yeah, this stand that my drill's on, it's like a Lazy Susan sort of turntable. Alright, just gonna get my square. That's it. Alright, so yeah, the drill bit is now installed and ready to rock and roll. As I say, the first hole on either end of the thicker tube, you want to come through both sides. So I'm just going to plug my drill in now and I'll bring you back. So yeah, we're plugged in now, but as I was saying before, this is on a Lazy Susan, so I can rotate my drill and get to my sander that you can see in the back here, and there's a grinder over here, so I can just rotate around. Because I've got a small shed, I have to think of something to be able to get around. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of measure the depth of my tube on the gauge on the drill, and then allow the drill to come down that far. Okay, now I know that if it goes all the way through the table, it's going to go all the way through my copper piping. So yeah, I'm just going to get some gloves and I'll bring you back. Okay, so just while I'm putting my other glove on, I'm hoping that the drill bit doesn't actually chew up the bandage and rip it all off. So we'll soon see. I've also got goggles on as well because it's metal work, so I don't want a shard in my eye. So we're just going to get to turn the drill on now. And then, as I said, so the two end ones, this one and that one, I want to go all the way through. So I'm going to try to set that up now. Here we go. That's it. Now I think I've gone through both sides there, so slowly remove, turn it off. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is the hole I've drilled. Focus. Yeah, and then on the inside, can you see that it's gone all the way through quite cleanly? Yeah, somewhere there. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off, but obviously remembering it's just the other end one that needs to be all the way through. The rest are just surface ones, so I'll set you up. Okay, so that's the outer tube finished. The bandage worked really well, so as you can see I've gone through that end and through that end there. Now these aren't perfectly straight, but that won't matter because the grill's just for cooking on while you're outdoors. I don't know what happened with the last three there. Look, I've gone a bit squiffy. But yeah, I'm going to do the same to the inner pipe, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so yeah, I've now finished on the pillar drill, and as you can see, got holes all the way down, and on the inner one as well. I've messed up on this side, but because it's so close to the end, I don't think it'll matter. Can you see that? It's just off centre there. The rest of them aren't too bad, and again, the two end ones on the smaller one all the way through. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look roughly how this will work. So your big piece, your little piece, so go for your little piece, find your hole, okay, find your big piece, find your hole, okay, so I've mocked up roughly how it's going to look. So yeah, they're your four corner ones, alright, locked in place. As I said before, you're going to keep the spoke screws on this side. Now we're just going to measure all of these across and then cut them down. Okay, yeah, so how I'm going to measure them is I'm just going to use the smaller inner copper pipe as a rough guide, put the lip over the end of it, and then just snip off right at the end, bearing in mind that there is still 1/4 of an inch on the inside. So if I snip off just here, we should be fine. But well, yeah, I'm going to saw these off with my hacksaw. So you all know how to saw. I'll bring you back when I've done that. Okay, so I've just brought you back so you can have a quick look at the concept that I was aiming for. As you can see, in the top and bottom one, I've got a full length bike spoke going all the way through still, and then the rest of the holes have these ones that have been cut down to size, leaving the knobs on the ends to just stop them from poking through. I don't know if you can you see that? Yeah, so it just stops them from pulling through the hole. Okay, so what's left to do now is pop them on, and then trim them back, trim the two bigger ones down to fit inside the pole, but obviously leaving the thread on for the bike spoke wheels. I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, so I just thought I'd bring you back to show you the next sort of step. So now, remember the end holes on the larger tube just being drilled on either end. Yeah, like so. So, in theory, what should happen, the end hole on the smaller one, I don't think it matters a minute, all the way through, and then all the way through this end as well. Okay, and then on the end, the little nuts that I retrieved from the bike spokes as well. That's it, and then it stops it coming off that end. I'll do the same on the bottom hole. Okay, it can be quite fiddly to set up the grill for the first couple of times, but after a while you kind of get used to it. My son's just come to join me. Say hello, Tyler.
No.
Yeah. So you set up on this side.
I think Mum's asleep.
And then your mum's asleep.
I think so. She was asleep, but Ollie and Bella are laid on it.
Yeah.
Pretty funny because they just keep slapping her.
Yeah. So there you go. It's the two end pieces, and I'll just finish off and bring you back. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, as I was saying, it can be quite fiddly to set up for the first couple of times, but obviously these stop it coming out on this end. So what I'm going to do, obviously these are a lot smaller. I'm going to put these through and then show you what I need to do with the two longer ones. 2 seconds. Okay, so I've just brought you in for a closer look. So yeah, these are the end caps that I was describing from the end of the spokes. Now I figured out if you put one on either side, on top and bottom, I've only got 3 on at the minute, it stops the grill from falling apart. But yeah, not the best looking of things, but certainly practical. Right, I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, so we're all completely taken apart. As you can see from this angle, you can see that my drilling is not being perfect, but if you take a little bit more time and care, obviously you can turn this into a really good project. So I'm just going to pop it all back together. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put an end cap on the larger outer pole. Okay, like so. Then I'm going to take the smaller inner pole, pop that in. I'm going to take all the smaller spokes, make sure that they go on the inside of the smaller diameter tube. I'll get the 2 larger top and bottom spokes. See, they're trimmed just underneath, and then the 4 spoke nuts, screws, whatever you want to call them, in the top there, and then the cap as well. So yeah, that's the pocket grill. Don't forget, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, let me know if you've made one of these. I saw this on, I can't remember what it was, Pinterest or something, so I thought I'd give it a go. But yeah, the pocket grill. Don't forget, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel, and as always, take care.